Further down the road, I want to find an interim provost, and so we'll do that until we are able to do some national searches. And so some backfill of positions will be the first part. We'll continue to work on budget issues with the legislature. I was down representing the university before the House Appropriations Committee last Friday, and before that the Senate, and so we'll stay in touch with folks on budget. Our job is to advocate for the institution, as is the job of all the other presidents and the state at public institutions. We'll continue to do that, and we recognize the state's in a bit of a pickle financially, and as a result of that we will be too, to a degree, but our job is to really adapt to whatever monies that we have and do the best we can. People always talk about, our status in athletics and whether or not we want to join, a big team, Big 10, Big 12, whatever. Though ironically, there aren't 10 or 12 in either of those conferences anymore. So things change with all that, but we're doing well at our divisional status right now, and so I want to make sure that we do as well as we can where we are before we would ever, consider moving in a particular direction. And I would rely on the athletic staff over there to make some of those recommendations. I don't want to lose contact with some of the student groups and individual students that I've met over time here. Some of that will have to change just given the nature of the role, and I don't want to in any way usurp the role of a new Vice President for Student Affairs. So that we have different roles, but to me it ought to be a partnership role. I enjoy the students very much. That's the only reason that all the rest of us are here, whether we're teaching or whether or not we're providing service. Students are the reason for the institution to exist. Well, I think it's been a very strong TownGown relationship, and I think that's been cultivated here for a long period of time. I know both of the mayors. When my wife and I came up, we bought a house down in a historic area just south of here, off of Clinton Place. Terrific neighbors in that area. I'm involved with the Noon Rotary group. I've done a little bit of work in some other community service kinds of organizations, but I think the TownGown relationship is terrific, to say nothing of how generous State Farm and Country and other corporations have been to the university. It's really terrific to be, frankly, in a community that is big enough and supportive enough that the university is not the only resource in town for folks. So it takes away some of the pressure from us as being the only economic engine, which is true in a lot of college towns, if you will. This is a college town, but it's also a town with major corporations here, and so that relationship with both the elected political officials and the private sector are very, very important, and I plan to continue to work with those entities very closely.